Very interesting. So we went basically flat. Doesn't appear there's any catalyst immediately on it. Go ahead and take a small starter here. We'll see if this ends up resolving to anything. There's a buyer here, but it looked like it got eaten. I'm willing to try and take another stab at it, I think. This volume's been lower on this pullback. I'm kind of just dried up here. Could be good since this is a pullback, though. Okay, we're seeing a bit of a breakout. Volume came in here. Okay, can we see a return to high? Okay, this volume was quite high too, though. That's not as good to see it hesitate here with higher volume. That might indicate that this was met with selling pressure. $18,000 share seller here. That seller got out of the way temporarily. Really struggling to break through 370. Getting some volume coming through here on this. Yeah, there was just someone at 370. Volume seems a little bit low for this kind of sell-off, though. Break it there. Yeah, so my entry was good here on this initial buy. But I was noticing that when the price was moving up, all the sell orders were getting pulled. I thought maybe that was an indicator it was going to go further, but it could have also been just to make people believe the price was going up so that they could exit out here. Very weird price action. Also, the fact that this wasn't a news catalyst maybe could have made it more skeptical. But I still wanted to try and give it a try because Monday, the last 2 weeks, has been particularly well for resolution. So I wanted to try and be a little more aggressive today. Good morning, Flip Flop. Good morning, good morning. So 2 very early trades out of the gate for me, both on this pullback here. The first one on this one, second one I had here and got stopped out. 2 small losers. I think half size was still appropriate. No news catalysts. A little bit questionable. So I think at least half size was reasonable there, given that context. Still, where does that leave us? Because we don't really have anything else moving, and it looks like our one setup that we had no catalyst, and it's pulling back pretty hard. I wouldn't say it's dead because it's only about 50% pullback. We did have KXIN, which did truly pull back and return to its lows. Yeah, my second entry was actually really good. And I did get this pop here, but I was really looking for a return to high of day. Fortunately, it's still just somewhat slow. Shorted ZYNE this morning at 30, covered just now 23.50. Wow. Good morning, Benjamin. Good morning, good morning. We had, what was it? We had KXIN. This one has basically just pulled back from where it broke out. Volume, actually somewhat light volume too. We had some like 20,000 spikes here, but everything else is like 1,000 or less. So yeah, I mean, we only really had 2 stocks moving so far. First hour here at 7. And the big one didn't have news. I still think I'm not upset that I at least attempted this trade. I think given that the volume spike was there, the pullback was somewhat safe. The only major, well, other than the news catalyst, the only other major red flag I saw was just the sell orders getting pulled. They weren't actually getting bought up, right? The price was just popping straight up. Then all of the selling was going on at the top of the range. Yeah, CYPH, this price action, it's actually been really weird too. Right, I was just looking at the 5-day earlier. We're just seeing this weird, like, just look how this just kind of went flatline for so long. So in a way, you could argue this is technically like a continuation setup. The volume was there too. I mean, yeah, because this was a continuation setup, I think there's a little more credibility to me attempting this. So we had 330 to 345. Decent little bounce here. I don't really know if I want to mess with it anymore, though. It's already done me dirty twice. Once bitten, twice shy. Yeah, I'm not really too fond to get back involved. Frustrating too, because this thing has recovered quite a bit. But no, I wasn't looking for like a dead cat bounce with my interest here. Mine was actually looking for a continuation to high and maybe even a breakout. My entries were really good for the bounce play though, or not the bounce, for the pullback before the next leg higher. Because if this had gone a leg higher, this would have been like a $25, $30 winner. My entries were sound. I could have even taken profit for like $5 or $10 if I had sold here, but I was looking for more. It's very frustrating too. Just the way this market has been to where, I mean, I think I had a pretty decent entry. The setup looked fairly clean. And this is the only real setup that we had for 7, and it's not doing that great. And, like, I'm not even necessarily saying I'm doing something wrong. It's more of just, I just don't think there's a lot of opportunity for bulls right now. And I went into today willing to be a little more aggressive because Monday, the last 2 weeks, we were seeing the best results. And I'm still thinking I'm going to be a little more aggressive today if we see opportunity. But yeah, if things just keep rolling over like this, then the rest of the week I'm probably going to have to cool down again. I suppose it could be, you could argue maybe it's reassuring that we saw this pop and it held for a bit before breaking down without news. So maybe if we get something with news that has a decent setup, maybe that could be optimistic that it resolves better. I think that is somewhat reasonable to infer. But yeah, we'll just have to see. So I see we're up to 15 concurrent viewers. Good morning, everybody. If you could do me a favor and hit that like button, help get the channel and the live stream out to other people, I would appreciate it. And I hope you guys are all having a good morning. It's a little bit slow to start the morning. Nothing really moving. The one stock that was moving, I tried it twice. Didn't work out well. And yeah, I'm probably just waiting for the half hour. I can show you the other one here, so KXIN. So yeah, it's not so great here, but if I go to like the 1 minute, it looks a little cleaner. All right, you can see there was some volume coming in here. But it just completely gave the whole move back. So I'd say as far as stocks that moved were 0 and 2. There's the 2 stocks that pumped. Both of them have given back significant. CYPH does look like it might curl. A bit iffy to touch it though after this. After seeing the price spike and all the sellers get out of the way and then return just to do this. It's a little bit frustrating to see that. Good morning, John. Good morning, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, no, I wasn't interested in KXIN just because it was a sub-dollar. My scanners picked it up because I do have stocks that are 50 cents, up down to 50 cents on my scanners. And the reason is because technically you could have a stock that's 50 cents that ends up running so hard it goes into like $1.50, $1.50. And at that point, you could start to make the argument it's a high enough price to trade. So we are seeing some follow through here. Very frustrating to see this curling now. I think I'm just gonna let it be though. I mean, technically, like if you get enough volume to where it supersedes this initial spike of volume, you could argue maybe it's back in play. This volume was solid, but I don't actually know if it's enough. And even on this spike, it could just reverse. It'd be pretty nasty if it just reversed here. My broker won't let me short anything under 50 cents. So for me, I can't even look at those sub $1 either. Okay. Well, I don't know. I guess it depends on your risk tolerance. I would argue that the upside is scary, but at the same time, there's a reason that a lot of stocks are under $1. So if you can manage risk, I mean, I suppose shorting sub $1 stocks could be fine. You just need to be careful that you size appropriately. And honestly, I feel like you would almost need to just make sure that the potential for a short squeeze won't squeeze it from like 50 cents to $20 or something crazy. But yeah, I did get the Discord set up. I'm going to post it on the channel at some point here later this week. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So I'll have my spreadsheets that I use. So these will be downloadable on there. I'll post my results a bit more, maybe go into more detail with the trades. Just show it back down again. Yeah. Yeah, we're getting little pops here, right? I'm looking at this volume. Made $2 on CYPH. Good stuff. Good stuff. I mean, it's better than me, right? I'm down 1450 on it. Yeah, I tried trading it during this pullback here, and I held through this consolidation. My entry was really good. I got near the lows here, but unfortunately, I just ended up having to sell during this. Yeah, it was very weird, the price action with this, right? Whenever it was doing these spikes, the sellers were just getting out of the way. Still, this is a pretty nice curl, right? We've gone from 330 up to 360. A very nice curl. As annoyed as I am by it, it is respectable that it's recovered this much. And yeah, KXIN is still near the lows. This one looks like it's really just kind of rolled over. So we had 46 with an immediate recover back to around 54, 55. Well, no, the volume seems to be lower. At least with KXIN, it was lower. We're getting, and this is on the minute chart, right? Some of these minute candles, we're only getting around 30,000 volume on some of them. Some of them are a bit higher. We're getting like 100,000 on some. It's also worth noting CYPH is a bit higher afloat. Doesn't say it here on Lightspeed, but it's probably somewhere around the 40, 50 million shares outstanding range. I'm only saying that because Thinkorswim's saying 56 million, and since this is saying 0, I just assume it's somewhere in between. But yeah, it's slow, unfortunately. I was really hoping today would be warmer, because the last 2 Mondays were warmer. I mean, it is still early, though, right? We're just coming to the half hour. We'll have a better idea by the end of today if Monday was just cold or not. But this isn't the greatest start, right? Seeing the best stock is up like 20, 30%. That's not really impressive. So, okay, Trade Idea says it's 34 million. Then I would say probably around 40 million, just because Thinkorswim says 56. I just like to average them. I feel like that just gives a better estimate. But if Trade Ideas is more accurate, then maybe go with them. But yeah, we're at the half hour. See if any news comes out. More inflow. This last 30 seconds. It could be the case if we don't see anything on the scanners that this might end up seeing some more momentum. At least so far, I don't see anything on my scanners. Okay, big volume came through right here. Oh, let's say big volume is like 10,000. Scanner's dead, yeah. Because, like, this looks strong. The way it's kind of holding up and curling back. If there really is no news, then it would make sense this could get more momentum. But just the lack of a live catalyst, and it's already screwed me twice. I'm a bit torn. Like an abusive relationship. Hmm. Hard to read the level 2. So let's keep pulling on. Yeah, John, I noticed the same thing. I haven't been paying attention lately, but I noticed the same thing over here. When we saw this breakout on this candle, there was a big sell order for like 15,000 right here on the level 2. And right as this level broke, the order was pulled. And the reason I know this was pulled is if you look at the total volume here, the total volume for the candle was 17,000. And that's more than 15,000. But for this entire candle to have only been that 15,000 share order is unrealistic. And I saw the order get pulled before this spike happened. So yeah, someone's messing with orders and pulling them. I don't know what you would really infer from that. If you're saying you're still seeing it, I wouldn't be surprised if you're still seeing it. But I don't know. I think I should just not touch it. I don't really, I feel like I feel like something's going on and I've already been burned twice from it. It's frustrating because there's nothing else. If anything, maybe I could try a pullback setup, but I don't want to try the highs. Like right now, we're too close to the breakout point. Still, if this does end up breaking out and running, it will be interesting to note that through this whole period, we've seen instances where the seller was pulling orders. That could be an interesting thing to maybe document. But, yeah. We'll see. We'll see what it does. SSP, I'll check it out. I mean, might as well. SSP. I see what you mean. It is kind of, you're right. The volume is just non-existent on this thing, though. Honestly, pretty impressive move, right? It's made a decent move. What is the float look like for this thing? Oh, it's higher. It's a higher shares outstanding too. Yeah. So what happened when we had this dump? So we saw that the orders were getting pulled here. They got pulled on this initial pop. And then several times whenever the orders were here, the sell orders were getting pulled. The price went up a few cents, like 5-10 cents. And then there was a hidden seller that was pushing them back down. This went on for like 10-15 minutes. No, these are 15 seconds. This went on for like 5 or 6 minutes. And then we saw this rug. And it wasn't even a massive rug. It was like 18,000. Like, so when we had this come in, this is only 5,000. Yeah, the volume on these breakpoints are actually quite low. The only problem with that is that the price can become a lot more irrational when there's less volume. There's less people to kind of like correct and stabilize the price. Very interesting how that worked. Yeah. 20-cent move in 30 seconds. Higher volume. Most of this surge up was on higher volume. It really does feel like someone with a large position is playing with this, though. So I was actually a little bit tempted to buy here. So when this breakdown happened, it was on extremely low volume. It did recover, but it was like half of this volume when we saw this breakdown. I thought it could have been a bear trap, but I was just so hesitant to pull the trigger on this thing. So we're seeing another candle of higher volume. Yeah, I agree though. This feels very tricky. But yeah, I still agree with my assessment that I think someone big is involved with this and they're playing with this. They're trying to shake it around. Curious how it's going to respond now, right? Because we saw pretty decent inflow here, around 50,000 shares of inflow. Justin says, I got in and out on it on the 1 minute pullback. just above 350, 360. When I saw buyers coming in, but I'm thankful I got out for profit because further inspection, I saw it's on low relative volume. Yeah, yeah. I mean, relative volume isn't as impactful because this has made a pretty significant move. So I wouldn't say relative volume is necessarily problematic here, right? Because this thing has been making large moves on this volume. But yeah, it definitely feels like it could be moving more, or it needs, rather, it could be having more volume. I don't really think this is the most ideal. I mean, the float's a bit higher anyway. We're going into basically day 4 of this move now. And we don't have any fresh catalyst. And there's nothing else really moving. It's just very, very slow. So you've kind of got that cold hand wind playing a factor too. Plays on this will not be smooth. It doesn't feel that way. I do find it very interesting that despite the pooling of sell orders, and we had this initial breakdown, the fact that it's recovered is very interesting. Yeah, above 360. It's like 362, 363. It's really struggling. On MD, I'll take a look at it. Yeah, I mean, it's moving. The volume's a bit light. Yeah, I mean, there was news that came out a minute ago. You're not wrong. The volume's just so light, though. $7,700 share seller, 56. Problem is the volume is so low on this thing. Yeah, the news is kind of whatever. It's just kind of like a bland one. We did see some volume, and we saw this 157 level break. This is only on a little volume, too. Very whiplashy. We are seeing the volume increase, though. Got a little short at 170. We'll see. There's a big seller at 62. A lot got absorbed here. This is creeping higher. Keep seeing a ton of orders going through on the ask, though. Hmm. A big surge there on that break. See, my pH ended up flushing pretty hard. It looked worse on the 5-minute. It's actually not that bad on the 1-minute. On the 5-minute, it looks a lot worse. Yeah, so it just kind of grinded to here and then came back. Yeah, I don't know. We got 5 minutes till the top of the hour. I might just sit tight. It was really tempting to just jump on this because there was buying going through. This whole move up, there was actual buying going through on the ask. But it just kind of grinded so slowly. And even when we did have this breakout, it's kind of struggling a little. Not a clean resolution. Watching CYPH on the side, this thing. Very frustrating with this one. I'm glad I didn't give in to temptation and try it again here. Okay, so we have a pretty big spike on this breakdown, but the move actually wasn't that big of a drop. Yeah, I allocated a whole bunch of shares because I was hoping for this one to run. Well, it is hard to predict. Yeah, I mean, what is this up? Like, this is up 14%? Are you kidding me? Like, this is the best I have to look at? The stock that was probably up, like, what, maybe 20 or 25% at the peak? This is just, it's so slow. And like this whole year, we've had pretty good momentum, and it's just this we're going on like a month now. It's just been cold nonstop. Right, we had right about around like week 2, we had the pennies, where we had a couple penny stocks that were doing well. That lasted for like 2 days. Then a week later, we had GLTO move, and that kind of surged then around 3 or 4 other low float stocks to also pump hard. But the market has still been generally cold. Like, you've seen very hit or miss setups. We got CMND pumping pretty hard. It's way too cheap for me though, but if anyone's interested in that, it's going basically straight up. Not really interested in it. It's too cheap. But it is moving. Now we're getting the 8 a.m. orders flooding through. Let's see if anything comes out at 8 o'clock. Yeah, this thing's kind of breaking down hard now. So it's so weird. We had this grind up, we break through this high, and then it just reverses. Yeah, I see your LFWD. It's a bit cheaper. It also looks like it's kind of just reversed right away. This did have news. But yeah, it's too cheap for me. AMIX is a little closer to my price range. It's still a bit cheap though. This one at least looks like it's holding up a bit better. LFMD. Is that what I put in? I put LFWD. Wait, so it just so happens both of them moved at the same time? Interesting. Maybe they're related somehow. No, you're right. That one looks much more in my range. Also, this is coming through with some pretty serious volume towards the $1. This thing's actually been beaten up quite hard. Seems a bit not super sold on the catalyst. Oh, and MD just completely giving back the move. AMIX did end up breaking one pretty hard. I'm actually a little interested in LMFD. LMFD. Just the way this price action has reacted doesn't look actually terrible. The only problem is the volume's so light. I do like the volume profile for these candles. We're seeing next to no volume on the sell-off. Spread is very big, though. I'm wondering if I'm barking up the wrong tree, and maybe if I should just go for AM EST. You're short, good luck. Good luck. I'm watching it on the side. I see some potential in this, actually. Got your 10% on CYPH. Done for the day. This market is so slow. Yeah. No, it's very slow. Very difficult to manage anything, if I'm being honest. I was thinking, or at least hoping today would be a little better. Were you short or long, Dr. Happy Joins? Just out of curiosity. Dang, CYPH is just completely breaking down now. You were long at 7 a.m.? Let's see. Man, it gave back the entire move. It's interesting, too, with the context that there was someone who was pulling sell orders and only selling when the price went up. Seemed very suspicious to me. And now that I'm seeing this fully rolling over, I actually am not super surprised to see this. JFBR. Yeah, JFBR looks somewhat interesting. It's like, what is this volume, though, man? Just no one really trading, right? Like 10,000, 5,000. What am I even looking for? Hmm. Feels so scary to be a long right now. I'll be honest, it feels so scary to be a long bias trader in these markets. I'm still interested in LMFD. Or LFMD. Terrible ticker for long. I was a bag holder for that for a long time. Always pop up, but never held its gain. Yeah, no, I just saw the low volume, and honestly, I just wasn't interested in it. I'm still interested in this. The fact we popped up with volume, and the sell-off was with almost no volume. This actually looks... It's really difficult to judge just because the volume's so low. But this doesn't look terrible, the fact that it's come back down with non-existent volume. You know it's bad when this is what I'm thinking is the best contender. What a day to be a short trader. Am I right? Hmm. And JFBR is just right at the low. It just completely reversed. Yeah. And the problem too is even if this does end up curling, this spread is so large. Like I can't just I can't hit the bid and the ask. I basically have to buy between the spread. And my fear is if I just put like a hidden order at 490, for all I know, a massive slam order of just even 10,000 shares could drop this from like 490 down to like 470. It's totally realistic. Yeah, no, it's nothing's really taking off. I mean, what are we looking at for top gappers? I mean, Amex is probably the best gapper right now, up 30%, and it's a penny stock. That's honestly pretty sad. SSP still breaking highs. Yeah, I looked at that one, but it was just moving too slow in the volume. Amex is curling though. Like it did do a pretty nice bounce from 92 cents back over $1. I mean, this might be the best opportunity, but I'm still afraid. You're right though, SGML is running. It is getting more volume. So is this. Was there news on SGML? No. This random inflow came out of nowhere. No news. Very impressive move, though. 90 cents up to 120 almost. Yeah, 135 does seem like a reasonable short place. Or like that's where I would be looking to take profit if I buy here. Yeah, even on the daily chart, 135 is clear daily resistance. BCIG is moving. I don't really want to mess with it though because it has a history of just not working. I had it burn me once and then I just watched it another 2 times and it ended up rejecting hard those other 2 times. So I'm a little bit skeptical to mess with that one. Still watching SGML on the side too. Yeah, very interesting. This thing is just, it pushed straight up and now it's kind of just consolidating here. The thing is, if this does rip, this is probably going to rip like 10 cents. It popped up 5 cents. SGML is still pulling back. Yeah, I've noticed that the float to volume is very different. But I'm also not convinced because I've seen several stocks the last few weeks where the volume, we've had complete float rotation several times, but it still isn't, they still end up completely rolling over. Now, I mean, this is up 60%, which is significant. I wish it wasn't a penny stock, though. SGML actually did a pretty nice surge. 830 up to 870. This one does move quite a lot. In a short period. AMEX ended up breaking down pretty hard, it looks like. So that break of 120 didn't resolve, at least immediately. It's not dead, but not the most admirable looking breakdown. I'm in half size here. This order has been coming up with this price. Really struggling to break through here. Did see the break. Did we see a clean break of 9? Broke twice, but it's not holding above it. Still seeing some orders on the bid, but they're a little smaller. Okay, seeing a bit more of a squeeze through 9. 920s. Okay, I'm out there. Nice $17 base hit. Okay. I considered adding on this pullback, but considering I was already red on the day, and if this thing reversed, it would have probably turned into like a $20 loser. I just opted to keep half size since I was currently red at the moment. Good trade, though. The main reason for executing the trade on this pullback was because during this run up, there was someone who was a buyer. The order kept flashing and the price kept moving with it. When I saw that the price dropped to it, the order wasn't getting filled. That signaled to me that there was a hidden buyer because the bid wasn't going down. Looks like I could have maybe squeezed a little more out of it. Went up another 15 cents from where I sold, but honestly, buying at 88 and selling at 22, that's a pretty sizable hit. If we were in a hot market, I would have been adding there on the pullback. I wouldn't be selling. Like right here on this pullback, if this was lighter volume, which it is, this would be where I would be adding. I wouldn't be selling. Really feels like I'm just treading though. Like it's so hard for me to get any edge in this environment. All right, we're at 8.5 hours. We'll see if anything comes out here. While we wait for a stock to come in on the scanners, just a reminder that I'm nearly at 100 subs, so if any of you are watching and are not subbed and are interested in watching me stream like this, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe if you were interested. Once I hit 100 subs here, I'm actually going to be doing a Discord drop, so I have a Discord server that I'll be putting live once I hit 100, and yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Let's see here. GLMD is popping up for me. It looks like this is kind of popping. It's a bit cheaper though. Okay, top line results. Bit harder for me to judge something like this. This is my expertise. What does this up right now? It's up like 20%. Yeah, it's a bit sharp. I don't really have a bias right now, long or short. Definitely still in play, though. So we went from 119, 134. It's actually a sizable move here. Volume has increased quite a lot on these candles, right? 400,000 volumes, quite a lot. There was more volume that inflowed right here, but it didn't break the previous high here. Could be a hidden seller right here. If it does, I wouldn't be surprised to see this flush from this point. Okay, looks like it's reclaimed. There's definitely a seller here. The question is, how big are they? I'll take a position here in at 29. Rationale is on all three of these pullbacks, the volume was lower. And the spikes back up are on higher volume. Really testing 32. Another volume spike. $132 is getting pressured really heavily. I'm gonna cut it here. I've given it enough time. I'm worried about a knife here. I gave it a chance. Yeah. Yep. It's what I was afraid of. Jeez. It's so dangerous to be along right now. Actually, I will take a position there, though. That's a pretty huge correction. Feels like that might have been a slight overreaction on that drop down. This specific drop to 103 was on super low volume. I managed to feel part of it. All right, so nice little base hit there. That's so brutal, though. Just the way it just completely flushed. It's... I already said it, but it just really feels dangerous to be a long bias trader right now. Hmm. SGML is still running. Very impressive that it's able to move that much. So I had initially bought here for this break, and I sold here. So honestly, I actually timed the exit on this first leg pretty well, right? Because this kind of just went chop after that. So no, actually, I think my exit was pretty good on this trade. Then we eventually got this next leg. It feels like it's been quite exhausted, though. I don't know if I would want to touch it at this point. GLMD did end up correcting even more than I expected. All right, we ended up going up to like, what was it, 16, 17? So I could have squeezed a little bit more. Yeah, SGML is it's just going. Yeah, at this point, I don't think I'm gonna touch it again. I did trade it once and it worked, but it feels like it's run quite a bit now. Bit worried it might be topping out soon. Yeah, 10s I could see resistance being there. Why is this recovering so hard? I mean, maybe it was just an overreaction sell-off, because I identified these last two candles in particular. The sell-off was a bit overblown. If this ends up rallying all the way back up to this, I'm gonna laugh. Like, all this consolidation into a flush, into a recovery and break, that would just be a slap to the face to the bulls. It's a cruel form of humor. AMEX looks like it's breaking down again. It's back around 1. I don't really see anything on my scanners that looks super great at the moment now. Maybe just waiting till 9. That is actually insane. There's no way this thing's rallying all the way back after this flush. Oh, that is so disgusting. I thought you said you shorted Amex at 105, or am I just remembering wrong? Let me think. So the stock was churning really hard here. There was clearly a seller here, but there was also strong buying. We saw a fake flush on low volume. I saw the low volume, so I was able to capture part of this. And now we've re-rallied back to around this level. What do I infer from that? Okay, pretty big spike of volume here. Ended up going to 137, but we actually pulled back. Oh, I see. At least I'm remembering correctly. All right, cool. Yeah, GMMD, I don't even know, like... So we just see a spike here through the previous resistance, and then it just doesn't follow through. Because part of me was thinking about buying here before this break, but now that it's just given it back... Not really sure how to interpret this. What are you gonna sell off now? That's crazy. If it's gonna struggle here, flush sell, completely recover, break by like 5 cents, and then just flush sell again, that'd be crazy if it did it again. It does feel like there's something here, though. The way it was so bullish here into the fake bearish breakdown into a full recovery, it does kind of feel like there's something here. I don't know if I'm optimistic enough to try it, though. How many trades have I taken today? 5. Getting close to 9. I'll be holding this until probably 80 cents. So the stream will be off by the time I close. Anyway, that will be 3 shorts for me in the morning. Good morning for me. Yeah, I mean, we're definitely in an environment where shorting feels powerful. Most stocks are rolling over. This thing feels like it's gonna run. This thing into this feels like it's gonna run. This is very cruel, though, for anyone who bought here and got flushed out during this. Feels so cruel. Very powerful. LGMD. Did you spell right, or am I just not? Am I slow? Or oh, you mean this one, GMLD? Yeah. I was like putting in a new ticker. I'm like, oh, there's a new ticker. No. Okay. Yeah, there's clear resistance here. There was also support around the 154 that held here initially. Yeah, there does seem to be some kind of resistance here. Seeing high volume come in here. Second top. Took a half size position here just to see for a bounce. Just a small little bounce there. No, you're good. You're good. I recognized it once I actually put one and one together. See, a small little scalp on that breakdown. This second 15-minute candle, or 15-second candle, felt a little bit overblown. Was able to capture a little bit of a bounce on it. Yeah, very, very small winner. Only $4 on that trade. It's churning a lot right now. We're seeing a lot of chop right now. Yeah. I'm not a short, but I watch a few good shorts. They all short the 200 SMA. I mean, yeah, it's daily resistance usually, so it makes sense. And I mean, right now in this cold market, if you're going to be a short, you just pick a spot where it spikes up and then you short it. And I mean, maybe 70% of the time you're going to make money. Just because a lot of stocks after their initial spike, they're just rolling over. Today we had some interesting movers, right? Like GLMD actually did break through. AM EST did break through. So, and what was the other one? SGML also had a bit of a run. So we did actually have some that moved today. But while we did have some that moved, we also had a significant handful that didn't move. I mean, would I be crazy to say that maybe 60% of stocks rolled over today and 40% of them made okay moves? And I say okay moves because we didn't really have anything that moved a significant amount, right? Even GLMD, it's a $1 stock and it's only up around 43%. It was probably around like maybe 55% at the peak. For a $1 stock to not be struggling to crack 50%. That feels not super impressive. Today, I mean, it warmed up because it was super cold the first hour. So we definitely warmed up. But I would say it was still relatively cold, and short sellers probably had an advantage today. Granted, probably only a small advantage, because we did have some movers, just not great movers. But yeah, that's my interpretation of the day. I mean, I guess I should be happy I'm even green. This was a very difficult day. I mean, not as difficult as last week, but still. But yeah, we got 2 minutes till the top of the hour. If I don't see anything worthwhile on the scanners, I'm gonna bounce. Yeah. Honestly, it looks like... Which one did I... No, I timed this bounce. So yeah, it looks like I actually timed the bounce pretty well, and it just ended up rolling over. Oh, are we at 99 now? Yeah, I just need one more subscriber. Just one more. That's all I need, and the Discord goes live. If there's anyone watching that isn't subscribed and is interested. I want to check here. Are we actually at 99? Yo, we're at 100. Awesome sauce. Heck yeah. All right, so since we are at 100 subscribers, I said I was going to make the Discord at 100. Discord's already made, of course. Over the weekend, I was setting it up. Whenever I finish this stream, I'm going to make 2 videos today. I'm going to make the recap, which is going to be like in an hour or 2 from now. And then later today, I will post a video with a link to the Discord, and I will announce that. But yeah, again, I'm going to just wait a couple minutes before I actually end the stream here, just to see if we actually get anything worth looking at on the scanners. But yeah, heck yeah, 100 subscribers, let's go. I'm actually surprised that the channel grew this fast. Like, this channel hasn't even been out for 2 months, I think. So, 100 subscribers, that was much faster than I was expecting. And even a lot of these streams, like, I've seen that we've been peaking around like 27, 28 concurrent viewers, which is it's crazy to me to think that there's like an entire room full of people watching. I feel honored, honestly. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. I feel like I'm going to start to get really nervous once we start to get higher numbers too, because I already feel a little bit not shy, but nervous, like knowing that if I take a trade and I lose money or do something stupid, there's that thought in the back of my head. It might play a small role in the way I'm trading, but that's not an excuse either, by the way. But yeah, still not seeing anything on the scanners. I'll give it like another 2 minutes yet. And if we don't see anything, I'm going to end it here. HTML has been selling off a good bit. We're all working together. Honestly, the rest of the world is sleeping. Yeah, while we're sleeping while we're here. Yeah, no, I mean, to each their own, right? Like, we all work at different times. We all have different careers and things we're doing. But you are right. Like, a lot of us, at least relative to where we live, a lot of us are awake early in the morning. Heck, when I start streaming, it's still dark out. So, yeah, it's a very interesting experience for me, being up this early every morning to stream. But yeah, I'm going to call it here. I'm seeing nothing on the scanners. I don't see any point to stick around. A lot of the stocks that I've been watching aren't really doing anything interesting at this point. So yeah, I'm going to end it here. Like I said, I'm going to do the recap. That'll come live in a couple hours. Maybe around noon today or so. I'll go ahead and drop the video for the Discord. I'll make sure that all gets settled and done away. And yeah, that pretty much wraps it up. I will be back.